Hello YouTube, this is Crosscheck and welcome to a very cool video. Today I'm gonna go through the startup procedures of the 737, the default aircraft. I am going to use a checklist I created a couple of years ago. I created that checklist to be used with the PMDG 737. So probably a lot of things, I don't know. I haven't really tried it yet, so I don't know. But a couple of things may not be simulated on the default 737 of X-Plane 11, and also some things may be wrong. If you notice anything that is wrong, please let me know, and I'll try to correct that for the next version. Anyway, I will give you this checklist for free because I am incredibly cool. I'm gonna give you this checklist for free. Please check it out, and I hope it helps you out. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the cockpit. Okay, no, actually, first thing, a lot of people ask me, how do you start with the engines off? That is, how do you start with a cold and dark state? And also, how do you start on ramp? So it's pretty simple. When choosing where to spawn, just select ramp, and you can actually select the ramp you want to appear on. And when choosing the aircraft, just make sure you have this toggled off, so you do not start with the engines running. Okay, and so once we are here, it's pretty dark, so we're not able to see anything. There's two ways to fix that. On the view, we have the aviation flashlight and the night vision goggles. I prefer using the aviation flashlight. Let me show you with Shift and N. Shift N. Yeah, Shift N is the night vision. So as you can see, it's night vision. But I don't know. It's not. I don't think all the pilots have some night vision goggles. So I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe they do. I don't think they do. So I'm gonna bring out my aviation flashlight, which is pretty darn cool. And now I can see where everything is. And in a little bit we'll light everything up. And so we won't need the aviation light for long. Let's just dive into the checklist. So first we need to secure the cabin. Battery on and covered. Battery's over here. We open it, on and covered. Standby power on, well, auto and covered. So we open it, auto, and we cover it. DC altimeter selector to, well, this one should be on bat. There we go. So now we know we are losing amps on the battery, and the AC voltmeter selector on standby power, which is what is on at the moment. Master caution, disengage. Hydraulic pumps, this guy's all off. Fuel pumps, all off. Interior lights as required. Okay, so we can turn some lights over here. Okay, background lights, AFDS flood. There we go. Okay, we got some light there. A little flood here, just a little bit. We don't need too much, and probably there should be another one up here, I think. Okay, and we have up, all the way up here, the dome. We can put it on dim for the time being. Obviously we need to turn that off before takeoff, right? So now we can stop using the aviation light. Okay, everything looks in order over here. Okay, let's continue with our checklist, shall we? Okay, so interior lights are set as required. The pedestal, the main panel, and the overhead panel. Cabin and utility power. I don't think that's modeled. It's this one. Nope, it's not. IFE pass seat power. Okay, these two guys are not modeled, so you can just jump that one. Ground power. Connect and on. You make your choice. Do you want to do the ground power unit, which supposedly it's available, or you can use the APU. Let's use the APU because the GPU is the ground power unit. It's external to the aircraft. Someone brings a little cart to the aircraft and generates power for the aircraft. And the APU is the auxiliary power unit, and that is at the back of the aircraft by the tail. So basically, if you want ground power, you just turn ground power on, and that's it. You got ground power. But we are going to do the APU. So for the APU, oh no, wait, actually, okay, give me a sec. Okay, no, actually, we're gonna do it the way the checklist is meant to. So let's start the ground power. There we go. Pilot covers, they should be removed. That is not simulated. AC voltmeter selector to ground power. Emergency lights, these ones should be armed, which they are, and covered. External lights, position steady, wheel well, logo, wing, seatbelts auto. So at the moment, the aircraft should look like this. Now it looks alive with electricity running. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And now the checklist tells us to enter FMC, set fuel and payload. Okay, in the PNDGs, you would set those things on the FMC. But in X-Plane, you can do that before even starting the aircraft. So basically just ignore that one. Just make sure that before you start the checklist, you set your weight and balance correctly, okay? Now recirc fans are these ones, not simulated. So nothing we can do about those. They should be on auto, and they are on auto. Packs left and right, same, not simulated. They are in auto, as they should be. Isolation valve, auto, same, not simulated. It is where it's supposed to be, so that's cool. Autopilots, make sure your autopilots are off. Nothing here. It's not engaged anyway. The speed brake is not armed. There we go, unarmed. And now IRS selectors. I don't think they are simulated. Nope, they are not simulated, so nothing to do there. Also, IRS selectors, test and headings status, nothing to do there. IRS selectors, left and right align, not required. Set to nav, they are already set to nav. So yep, that's about it. And now we must enter FMC and complete the route and the perf init, which I don't think we have a perf init. So basically, now what we do is we go to our FMC. Let's pop that one out. Let's go over here. And yeah, okay, something really interesting is, okay, you need to go to flight plan, and then you set your origin, which in my case, I'm flying from Echo Delta Delta Tango to Echo Delta Delta Mike. Okay, I just made my flight plan on onlineflightplanner.org. I recommend you using this site. It's amazing. SkyVectors is another really cool site that you gotta check out. But anyway, okay, so if you click in here, you will see that these guys are flashing. Now you can use your keyboard. So Echo Delta Delta Tango, Echo Delta Delta Mike. My flight number, I always, depending on the delivery I have, right now I have a Delta, so it's Delta Alpha Lima, that's Delta, and my favorite number, 319er. So there we go. And now, as you can see, our first waypoint is Jerga. So you go Jerga, and this is the first point I put. So right now it's via direct to Jerga. Then we go to the next page, and I'm just gonna be placing the vias. So the first one is Uniform Mike 725. Place it on the via, and then we ignore Vesco. We go right to the next via. Uniform Zulu 36. Tango 106. And that's the last one. So now we grab the last waypoint, which is Bagme, and we put it in. As you can see, the waypoints were automatically chosen, because that's, if you're going from this via and then grabbing this one, it knows that you're gonna reach Vesco and then Marum, and then you select Bagme, right? So now we can press here again. I think we're good with that for the time being. Okay, let's just go to flight plan, and then climb. The transition altitude in Berlin Tegel is, if I'm not mistaken, 5,000 feet, not 18,000, like in the US or America. You can see the transition altitude on the departure charts of the airport you're flying out from. Then cruise altitude, I don't know, let's say I want to go 302 miles, so maybe I can reach, okay, something really interesting. You're flying east, odd numbers. You're flying west, pairs. So we are flying west. That means we need to use pairs. So let's do 340 cruise altitude. Enable. Okay. Seems I'm not gonna make it. So 320. Enable. 320. Enable. Seriously, why? 280. Okay, something is. It's not correct. Okay, I think I know why. Let's do the departure and arrival. So from, okay, this is something really interesting as well. Let's check the METAR. Okay, so now we can check the METAR that also the online flight planner gives us, and we can see that we have winds on Echo Delta Delta Tango 200 at 10 knots. So we know the winds are coming from 200. That means we want to depart from the closest runway to 200, which is 20. That would be 26, and we have 26 left, 26 right. I'll choose 26 left for the time being. Then we need to select our SID. And the pretty cool thing in Germany and places like this, like I think in all Europe it's like this, which is pretty cool. You just need to know your first waypoint, and your SID is gonna be basically that. So Jerg is my first waypoint, so my SID is gonna be Jerg to Lima, and then execute. And we check our flight plan, see that everything is in order, and it looks to be in order. That's pretty good. And we can choose our destination. Currently winds are variable, 1 knot. So we can basically choose any runway at the moment. So we're flying northeast. So maybe 2.6 is gonna be all right. So let's do 2.6 left again. And now our last waypoint is BAGME, so let's search for a star with BAGME. Okay, BAGME 3 alpha. Invalid. Okay, I think I know why. I think first I need to do, okay, no, let's see. BAGME 3 alpha for runway 26, ILS 26 left, transition. I will ignore the transition for the time being, execute. Let's see that our legs are in order. Okay, we have a little discontinuity here. Let's just make that discontinuity go away. And there we go. So now cruise, can we do 340? Enable 11,000 at mid-null. What do you mean? Mid-null. Okay, right here. Oh. Okay. So 320 maybe? Okay, 320 seems to work. All right, awesome. And descent, yeah, whatever. And that's basically all that we have to do on our FMC. Now everything is set up. We can see our flight plan over here. Let's see, plan, and then we can click on step, and you will be able to see all the waypoints, see where you're going and why. Oh, such crazy turns around here. Looks like tons of fun. You can change the distance. Really cool. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's go back to the map and legs. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's continue with our checklist. So the route and the perf init, let's say that those are completed. Fuel pump forward number 1. This would be this one. But the default aircraft on X-Plane 11, it wants to do both the aft and the forward. So yeah, we gotta do that. So this is for the APU. This we only use the we are only using the fuel pumps number 1, aft and forward, for the APU. So we turn on the fuel pump forward and aft number 1, APU start. I hold it a little bit just because that's what I like doing. And now we wait for the generator switches of the APU to light up. Okay, so let's just turn that on. Let's turn the ground power off. Okay. APU generator switches left and right. Yeah, they work together here. APU and engine bleed switches. Okay, so APU and engine bleed switches on. AC voltmeter selector to APU generator. There we go. Now we can see some good information. Parking brake. Let's just make sure it's set, which it is. Ground connections, disconnect, remove all. We already disconnected the ground power, but we probably should have done it at this moment. So yeah, there you go. That's what you do on that step. Master caution, disengage, no master caution, so we're cool. COM1 frequency, contact the METAR or delivery. That is, if you're flying on VATSIM or something like that, this is the moment where you should contact the METAR or delivery, just to keep things going. After that, if you do contact delivery, they will give you a squawk code. Now it's the moment to put the squawk. You put it right here. So squawk set, altimeter. What is the altimeter? We saw it here. The altimeter is QNH 1024. Okay, so let's switch to QNH. Right now we are on it's inches of mercury. That's the altimeter, and the QNH is on hectopascales, something like that. So we're gonna turn to that one, and now we have 1020, and we know we need 1024. So 1024. There we go. Okay, and now, geez, I'm sorry. I did this before. I should have done it, but on the FMC, now that you contacted the METAR and that you contacted delivery, now you set up the departure, and this is where you check your route for discontinuities and yeah. But yeah, I mean, you got the checklist there just for you not to forget about these things, right? And the arrival, I don't really put the arrival before taking off. I wait until I am a couple of, I don't know, 50 miles maybe from my top of descent, and then I check the METAR, see how the weather is down there. Maybe ask for active runway, or I mean, you can also contact the METAR from that airport. Get the information. It will probably tell you the active runways for arrivals, and yeah. So yeah, that's one way to do it. You can always put the arrival and then change it. So no big deal. Anyway, continuing with the checklist. Elevator trim. So the FMC is supposed to give you the information, like to give you the correct takeoff trim. So over here on the default 737 of X-Plane 11, it doesn't. So I just try and put it in the middle of the green. The green starts here and it ends here. So around 5, it's okay. What else? Gangway remove, not simulated doors, checked close, generator, bus, transfer switch, check covered, which is that one. Let's see, generator, bus transfer, check covered. Okay, there we go. It's an auto. Fuel pumps, all usable, no crossfeed. Okay, so fuel pumps all on. Low pressure, that's because we don't have fuel on those. We can check that by where is it? Oh, there's a place, but yeah, if there's low pressure, you probably don't have fuel, so we can just turn those off. So all usable fuel pumps are on, and the crossfeed is off. Hydraulic pumps all on. Anti-collision lights on. That means we are going to turn engines pretty soon. Packs left and right off. Nothing we can do there. They stay in auto. Thrust idle. Just making sure it's idle. Excellent. And now we can request engine startup and pushback clearance. Once we have that, we can start the pushback. Right now I don't have my pushback plugin, so I'm not gonna do that. Duct pressure gauge, verify 30 psi, which is this one. So as we can see, number one is at 30. So that's good. So in ignition selector, switch to opposite. Right now it's using both, so the it's not even simulated, so yeah, nothing to do there. So engine start to ground. Okay, and it's gonna reach 20, and I give it a little bit of fuel, and there she goes. And that's basically it. Really easy to turn the engines on. So now it kicked back to auto. Now I'm gonna turn it to continuous. And now we can do the other one, ground. Let's wait for 20. Oh, that was fast. Let's give it some fuel, and there she goes. Looks all right. So it kicked back to auto, and let's turn it to continuous. Now the generator of the engine, or the generator engine switches go on. AC voltimeter selector Gen 1, good. Gen 2, good. I'll keep it on Gen 1. APU off. Whoops. APU bleed off. Packs auto, which they are at. And APU, the generators go off as well. I don't see it on the checklist, but yeah, those also must be turned off. Pitot heat are these ones, the pros. We turn them on. Window heat on if below 10 degrees Celsius, which we are at 2 degrees Celsius, so they go on. Anti-ice switches on below. Okay, so wing anti-ice, engine anti-ice. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to turn those off before takeoff, but for the time being we can keep those on. Okay, let's continue with our checklist. Yaw damper on. Flaps, we're gonna do flaps 5 is a reasonable flap selection for takeoff in this aircraft. So flaps 5, and now we just need to make sure that it reaches flaps 5. There we go. Auto brake, RTO, that is That is for an aborted takeoff. So RTO. Now the pushback should have ended, which hasn't even started, but okay. Taxi lights. So now that we are ready for taxi after a pushback, I know I didn't do it, but just let's pretend that I did a pushback. So now that we are ready for taxi, taxi lights on, runway turn-off lights on. And TCAS test, which I'm almost positive that we cannot test this one. Oh, I mean I can select test, and it does, nothing's happening, so I'll just turn it back to standby. And now we are supposed to taxi to the holding point. As we are taxiing to the holding point, we can set the autopilot as, for example, the heading, the runway heading. As an example, if we are doing runway 26, then let's put our heading in 260, and in the altitude we can put the first altitude that we have permission to fly to. So let's imagine it's 5,000, so you can set it to 5,000. So let's say that yeah, your autopilot is set. Make sure you're okay. Well, let's continue with the checklist. Autopilot is set. Autopilot disengage bar is up. Flight directors, both of them are on. Auto throttle is armed. Indicated airspeed V2. I haven't set that, but I don't know. Let's imagine that our V2 is. Oh no, this is not the one. I'm sorry. Let's say that our V2 is 160. So yeah, there we go. Indicated airspeed 160. Heading, runway heading, altitude, check initial altitude. Yeah, all that is correct. And once we reach the holding point of the runway, we turn our landing lights on. Runway turn-off lights are on. Taxi lights go off. Position lights, strobe and steady. TCAS, Tara. Transponder mode Charlie. It should already be in that mode Charlie. And just yeah, make sure your inside lighting is okay. I would turn my dome off. Much better. There we go. Now I feel ready for takeoff. If I was on the runway holding point, right? So now that you've done all of this, now you can get into the runway. Now that you're on the runway, you are ready for takeoff. So parking brake, you set, thrust levers to takeoff. So yeah, you basically turn them almost all the way in. If you go all the way in, you're gonna crank them up real bad. So just a little bit less. Probably something like this is good. So the thrust levers to take off, then you release the parking brake. Yoke, you push forward until, no, I'm sorry. The yoke, you push it forward once you reach 80 knots. At VR, you rotate. At V2, it's liftoff. And yeah, that's basically all there is to starting and yeah, that's basically all the 737 procedure for takeoff. Feel free to continue using the checklist that I gave you throughout all the flight. You still have a couple of things like the climb, the cruise, descent and approach, final approach, taxi, parking, position. I know it's a very complete checklist. I think it's a pretty cool checklist. Please let me know what you guys think. Yeah, that's basically it. It's quite simple, and it's really cool. So if you just got X-Plane 11 and you're trying it out and you're trying the 737, make sure to use this checklist. And yeah, with this video you should be flying this baby in no time, and with a lot of confidence. I hope I explained myself decently well. Please let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts about it. It is a blast doing this video for you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Safe, happy flying. Cross check out.